Today's video is going to be a short video as well. It's just going to be a demonstration on an upcoming feature for the ModSecurity dashboard. I've thought about this for a long time, and what would be the best, considering we're in 2025, this day and age, if you're like developing any software, and if you're not thinking about somehow taking advantage of a lot of LLM modules, large language modules, and try to see if you can use some kind of anomaly detection, especially when it comes to web application firewall. You guys start thinking about that. I believe we're going in that direction. A lot of tools probably in the near future would start integrating AI. If it's let's say it's a vulnerability management tool or Tenable or something, they can start integrating AI so they can predict or they can identify vulnerabilities better, right? So that is the direction we're going. So I thought about this, and I kind of looked around, and I found an open source model. It's called Mistral 7B. It's a large language model. What I did is I actually integrated it with a dashboard. That way we can start taking advantage of, because I want to make this, like I said, I'm going to keep developing it. I want to make this as modern as possible, maybe excelling some of the commercial products out there. What I did is I actually integrated a language model. It's called Mistral 7B. The reason why I chose this is because, as you can see, I'm running everything in my system. Usually if you're trying to integrate large language module to your application, the first thing you got to think about is like you need a powerful GPU, especially since I'm not, in this case, I'm not using an API. Most of the time, most of the applications that you see on modern applications, what they do is actually they integrate the API. So it just uses the API key to make a call and get the information for the user. Whatever application that you're creating, let's say you're creating some kind of a trading application and you would like to integrate AI and have the user take advantage of AI, maybe do research on your application while they are inside the application. So you can integrate it. Most modern applications are like, even though it's slow because it's like there is a lot of security concerns, but they move in that direction. I believe a lot of applications will start integrating AI and take advantage of business decisions, and also users having the feature integrated already with the application. So I chose this model. Like I said, it is actually optimized to run on systems that don't have a powerful GPU, because I'm just running this on my laptop, and I'm also setting this. I set this up in Docker because I'm still on the testing stage, but that's why I chose Mistral 7B. Even though it is a local model, the last time it was updated, I believe I checked it, was 2022. So by that, what I mean is actually the effectiveness of large language modules depends on how often they get updated, right? If you choose a model and it was updated, let's say 5 years ago, 6 years ago, a lot of the things that you can take advantage of, maybe some things, maybe processing, maybe looking at a code or something like that, there are certain things that might not change. But when it comes to information, 5 years is a long gap. So you want to choose a model that actually gets updated often. So the last time I checked, and I actually checked it, and we can check it right now, you can just say, well, what year are we on? And this was updated in 2022. Considering it's an open source, I think it's decent enough. And the main point of this is actually trying to show, as you can see, the year also this response is 2022. So that means that's the last time it was updated. And considering how much effort it takes to update large language modules, 2025 is not that bad, especially considering the fact that this is an open source. So I've integrated it, and I've started using it already to find out a lot of features. Eventually, what I'm thinking is I'm gonna try to use this large language modules to do a lot of analysis to detect anomaly and what we can use it. So it is going in that direction. But what I notice also is, like I said, the effectiveness of any large language module depends on the data, the learning data that is actually being fed to the system. So some of the things are okay so far. As a matter of fact, let me try this. So let me ask you the first question. Who are you? All right, they've answered, and I'm a large language module trained by Mistral AI. So the next thing I'm going to ask is, you are integrated to ModSecurity version 3. What can you do with regard to this tool? And like I said, I'm using also my laptop, so you might have noticed that it takes a little bit longer. Don't expect anything like, like what you see was obviously with ChatGPT or anything like that, because it is actually using the GPU power of my laptop. So my opinion is, because this is actually the Mistral 7B is locally installed already. The module is completely downloaded, and when you're considering a lot of security concerns, if you have any kind of security concerns, what's recommended is actually to use a module, local module. You download it. Obviously, you need to start updating it often by yourself, teaching it more data. As you can see, it responded. Also responsive, assistant integrated to ModSecurity. I can help you log analysis, rule development, troubleshooting, and knowledge sharing, integration support. It does do that as well. Let's say I want to set up now. Granted, what the next process, what I'm trying to do is actually, I'm going to try to see if I can teach it some of the things, because you got to start updating the model to be more effective in the tool that you're trying to use it. If you're not, it's just usually going to give you, might not be the response that might be more efficient and helpful. You got to tune it down to the answers specific, and also like any AI, because it's just analyzing based on the questions that you asked, right? There's gonna be answers that are not gonna be relevant to the question that you're asking. So the effectiveness of really relies on how much you're teaching it. So there are a lot of ways you can teach a model to respond better, so it can assist with whatever tool that you're trying to integrate it to. So my plan is actually I'm gonna try to teach it more more in a way responds to the specific model that I'm using. Currently, this is using ModSec version 3, and I'm using Nginx. So I'm gonna try to kind of teach it more, update the model better, so would answer the question, especially when it comes to the reason why I wanted to actually integrate it is because for rule generation, right? You want to generate some kind of ModSecurity rule. You don't want to be researching it. You want to take advantage of an AI. It is pretty, even out of the box. It does give you a lot of hints. I'll say it gives you the rules, but it's not going to be, the syntax is not going to be correct. But that is not specifically to suggest the specific model. If you go out there, you go to ChatGPT or DeepSeek, if you try to say like ask a question, right? I want to create this software, or I want to create an application that has a backend, uses this database and all that stuff. It will give you a code. More than likely, most of the time, you would notice that if you tried it, it's not going to work on the first try. The tool is going to help you, obviously it's going to help you troubleshoot, and you can troubleshoot it yourself. So this is also the same thing. The effectiveness of it is how much you're teaching the model. So let's go ahead and ask a question. Let's say, can you give me a ModSecurity rule for, let's say, rate limiting based on IP, or rate limiting that would block a request if 10 requests are coming per minute. Now it would give you some rule, but like I said, this is a common problem with a lot of AI tools. It's not going to work all the time. You got to do your due diligence and find out what the issues. But as far as like giving you a hint on what to do is just, I believe it could be a great tool. And also, like I said, I'm planning on I'm creating. Usually when you're teaching it, you're going to create some kind of JSON file and kind of like add the prompt saying, if you ask this question, do this and all that stuff. And there are a lot of frameworks that you could use to actually teach the model to do something better than it can out of the box. So I'm already in that process. But even out of the box, it does give you a good amount of information, I'll say. So yeah, that's where we are right now, because I already have, let me wait for it to finish. It will come up. I already have what I'm going to do. What the plan is once it generates the rule for me, I do have a rule management here, and I can actually create it right away. Most of the time, if it is, let's say, if I want to block a certain header, specific header, it actually gives me a rule that works fine out of the box. There's not going to be a problem. But when it comes to some of the rules that you're requesting, yeah, it does give me a rule. And as you can see, it's probably, you can guess as much. There's going to be some kind of syntax error in some of these things, and you just got to go through it and find out what the issue is. But yeah, just like yeah, so far so good. And I'm planning on also creating another additional, let's say, navbar item called AI analysis. What I'll have it do is actually, what this model is pretty good at is analyzing logs. So I'm going to have it analyze logs and maybe do a little bit of anomaly detection. And like I said, it's just not going to be effective out of the box, like fully effective. So I'm planning on developing it more. But as you can see, I have the SecRule, because the way I'm thinking is, if you have a modern WAF, they're going in that direction, right? Even writing a rule is probably going to be automated at some point. And if it does give me this, so what I can do right now is just, because if it didn't, well, you all know when it comes to creating rules, you got to do a little bit of your got to do a little bit of research and all that stuff, syntax error and all that stuff. But if you have AI integrated, it will probably give you some answers. So let me go back, and I already have this tab. So what I can do is custom rule. I just need to paste it and generate and save custom rule. I'm not going to save it right now because it's not needed. But that's what the direction is going. It's fully integrated, like I said, right now. And yeah, I'm gonna keep on developing it. I haven't released the source code yet for this one that has AI integrated, because I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm debating on how much work it requires, honestly. But I'm a firm believer in open source, because let's face it, a lot of this software that we use, the base of the software, even this one, it's based on an open source software, right? So I'm planning on making it open source at some point. Now the dashboard and the rest of the stuff is already open source. The dashboard, managing the rules, creating the rules, using the front end and all that stuff, and I already shared a video on how to do those things. That is open source if you want to test it, or maybe apply it on your lab, or do anything you want with it. It's open source. But the one that actually has AI integrated, I haven't released it yet. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Actually, this is a little bit longer video than I anticipated, but yeah, I'll be coming back soon to show you how much improved the response is, how much curated to what we want it to be. And also once I integrate the AI analysis, I'm planning on integrating AI analysis where it analyzes even let's say a backend MySQL database, depending on how much read and write and all that stuff, if it can detect anomaly. So the direction I'm going is this model is good for and kind of like log analysis, but anomaly detection, there are other open source models that actually would fit better. So I probably would probably try to use those as well, like a combination of the different models, right? At the end of the day, and also it depends on how much you can teach it. So thank you for listening.